All right, happy birthday, Raspberry Pi. So 8 years ago, on February 29th, the Raspberry Pi was released to the world. Officially, it was released February 24th, but worldwide didn't get it until the 29th. So it's kind of like a nice leap year to remember. I have a couple of different Raspberry Pi here. I am planning to buy actually one more. We'll see. They come in a variety of different types, and I actually have another one that is not displayed here because it's actually attached to a permanent big display, and that I use that for media playback. All right, so to celebrate the birthday, we're gonna install this 3-inch screen. So what's crazy about the screen is that it's by UCTronics, and it supports 1920 by 1080. That's the preferred screen. Now this other screen only support 800 by 420. I do have to admit, though, after testing the screen, that it is actually not very good. So this new screen is not quite as good as the old other screen, which even though at 800 by 480, it looks a lot sharper than this 3.5-inch screen, even though it supports 1080p. So yeah, comparing the two, they absolutely no difference there, except that it's just slightly smaller. Um, you can use the same adapter, and then basically you reuse the same adapters on both of them. I am going to use a different Raspberry Pi that's actually already native to 1080p video. This chip that I'm removing there only supports the 480 display. And when I say 480 display, I also mean that you have to rotate the screen as well. This one will support widescreen and everything, so it's basically any kind of monitor with it. Looking at the back, you can see the GPI pin only uses maybe 8 of the whole thing, and then yeah, there's no fan or anything, so um, you are gonna have to install a fan if you want to use it on Raspberry Pi 4 because it does get quite hot. Um, Yeah, so all you have to do is line it right. As long as you follow the power and the ground on the very bottom two pins there, you should be fine. You can't really go wrong with this part. It's just aligning it correctly, and then they should come right in place. And then now you'll need the jumper micro HDMI to full size HDMI. Now it does come with heatsink to keep the thing a little cool, but like I said, you're probably gonna need a fan. It also comes with stylus, which I won't use, and you would need the stylus if you're planning on using the touchscreen, which I won't be using. Anyway, so it does come with two different adapters, one for the full size HMI to HMI, and then that's used for Raspberry Pi 3 and below. And then we have the new version, which is the micro HDMI to full size HDMI. Now you compare these two that I previously got with the other one; they're almost identically the same. So I think you can just swap them out if you want to just use one or prefer to use one over the other. And once again, you just have to align this correctly, and then you shouldn't really have any problem putting it in. Anyway, once it's connected, it will just simply boot up using whatever native resolution you have, which is the selling point of the screen. I am gonna say that the screen is not very good. So yeah, we're booting it up, and it's showing the UCtronics display, and every time the screen refreshes, you'll see that diagonal, which I don't love. Yeah, so just but you know what? For a little screen, I think it's great. It's 1080p. So there you have it. It loads up, and videos will play correctly and everything. There is no audio, so you're gonna have to get an audio jack for maybe your headphones or maybe mini speakers. but there's no audio. Um, all right, so as you can see, the adapter that came with it, it blocks the the other HDMI out. You can swap it out for this one, which has a cutout right here, so that you can use both HDMI, which you may want to use because the right out of the box, the resolution is 1080, but it is so small because the screen is so small. Images are going to be very tiny. On the screen. So if you want to change the resolution, you'll have to hook it up to a bigger monitor to do sudo raspi config. All right, so I'm gonna install a tiny little fan for the display. So if you're in the same boat, you do need to cool your Pi down, especially if you have a Raspberry Pi 4. So this is the fan Shima, and basically it is a very flat fan that you can just mount over the GPI pin, and then you can just put the 3.5-inch screen over it. It'll push down the shim fan, and then you can basically have a tiny little fan between the screen and the chip. So yeah, this is actually a really great way of keeping your Pi cool. I have to say that you do have to install the script to get the fan to work because it doesn't automatically turn on when you power up the device. But but that's easily done, especially if you've already changed the display to 640 by 480, so you can read the in the terminal. So yeah. Otherwise, what else? The shim fan is somewhat expensive for a fan, but it's worth it if you're looking for a flat fan that just easily install, and it's a good fan. I like it. I might actually buy another fan for another Raspberry Pi, and so as you can see, it seems to work fine with the fan installed. And so I was gonna talk about the screen, a little bit about the screen. I don't love the way that it refresh because of that diagonal problem that I mentioned earlier. It's really not a very good screen in my opinion. It does fine. I mean, it does what it does. But as far as looking at the actual image compared to other screens, it's not as good in my opinion. You can see tiny little dots as well. I don't know if I would recommend it, but if you're looking for a small screen, this is it. This will work. The other one has a better viewing and it looks a lot better, but it is not. You do need to install software, and it's kind of funky the way it works because you can't run Kodi on it. With this screen, you can run Kodi and everything. So it's I don't know. Just I guess. Maybe I'm looking for another screen that offer just a better viewing experience, than this thing. But it does work. So if you are just looking for a screen for your Pi, this will work right out of the box. And I guess the ease of use is the best selling point of it. But as far as the refresh rate and the screen tear and everything, it's not good. But yeah, $25.